Peace and blessings to all human families of the planet Earth. You know, I was just on YouTube. I was watching testimonies about people who got sober and stuff like that. You know, myself, I've been sober for about 9 months now. And it's funny because I never really considered myself to be an alcoholic, you know. But, you know, I also did acknowledge the fact that, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, that all of the bad shit that ever happened in my life or around my life has something to do with alcohol. So to that extent, I understood that I did have a negative relationship with it, you know? And so I go out on injury at work, called a back injury. Probably worst injury I've ever had before. And I was, you know, as a coping mechanism, you start drinking a little bit just for something to do because you're bored in the house. I've always been a social drinker, you know, like as far as all week I don't do shit, but then maybe like on Friday and Saturday, you know, I tie one on. But, you know, this is for a long time, you know. Everything socially that I did have something to do with it. And every foolish thing every single foolish thing that I've ever done in my life has something to do with either me being under the influence or being around the area where people were under the influence, so forth and so on. You know. So, you know, and the funny thing is I made this decision before, and the scary thing is when I made the decision before, I stopped for a couple months. Then I'm like, all right, let me, I've been good, I'm feeling good, I got back in shape. You know, maybe I'm gonna just do wine. Yo, it always starts out like that. I'm gonna do wine. I was doing wine, but not for nothing, you get pretty bent off of wine. My point being is that we often make excuses for ourselves to be able to do the things that we want to do, even though if those things aren't always the healthiest thing for you. And primarily my drinking and stuff was like, for me, I felt was more like a social lubricant. You know what I mean? You know, it allowed me to be able to talk to females better. I felt it just take the edge because I'm naturally a reserved and serious person until I'm comfortable around people, you know. So during this journey, I'm learning. I've come to realize that, you know, a lot of it has to do with, you know, you just being comfortable in your own skin. You know what I'm saying? If you a little bit corny, your jokes are a little bit corny, or you're a little bit reserved, a little bit socially awkward, that's okay. You know, you don't need a chemical to make you better. And honestly, if the truth be told, I wasn't better because I wasn't all that likable, as likable as I thought. I wasn't as charismatic as I thought. You know, in retrospect, when you think back, you know, you talk to people. So, you know, the journey is what it is. You know, there's certain things that are I don't have cravings or anything like that, but there is a fear. There's a fear of breaking my streak. There's a fear of me feeling like I'm allowing something to control me to where I can't not do it. You know. And at the end of the day, if you're on that track as well, I would advise you, as well as others, you know, and I do this for myself. Look, I can be around people who drink it, and I don't begrudge people who drink. You know what I'm saying? I used to do it, and I had fun doing it until it wasn't fun. And so I just felt like I didn't need it for myself anymore. But don't sit around and judge people for what they do, especially if you used to do it. You know, if you don't agree with it, exit yourself out of the situation, or just be quiet. You know, It's like if I go vegan and all of a sudden I'm sitting around a dinner table talking about, oh, you know that's bad for you. Nobody wants to hear that, man. You know. But at the end of the day, you want to be seated in your own emotions. You want to be you want to regulate your own emotions. You have to find joy within self, and you could extend that to others. Anyway, I said a lot. This was on my mind from out of the hood.